Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I'm here today to do a review on the Win and Win Black Wolf. It's a new hunting bow from Win and Win. It's a full carbon riser. So Win and Win is famous for its recurves, its target recurves, and they win lots of medals obviously with the carbon risers and carbon limbs that they produce. It's a nano carbon, which is a finer carbon. I think it's 1/100th the size of a human hair or something, but basically they have high quality limbs, high quality risers, and what they're doing now is they're coming into the compound market and the hunting market. And what this is, it's a carbon, like I said, a carbon riser with carbon limbs. Now it's available in 58, 60 and 62 inch. I'm stocking 62 inch because generally Australians prefer longer bows, a bit smoother. I know America prefers 58 and 60s, but for me I'm going for the 62s, but it's no issue getting the 58s or the 60s in. The bow's available in 35 to 65 pounds. It's got international fitting limbs, which is like they use on the target recurves. It weighs, I think, 2.5 pounds. It's a very nicely finished bow. So there's lots of these hunting bows out there, and I'm going to compare some in a second. But the finish on this bow is very, very good. So if I look at some of their competitors, and I'm going to pick, I was going to say a brand, and then people go, I'm crapping on it. So I'm not going to say which bow it is. Anyway, it's a very popular takedown bow, but if you look at the finish on the limbs, it's not good. You look at the finish on this limb, and it's beautiful. It's nicely smooth. The limb tips are nicely finished. Like, they're just perfect. There's no rough edges. It's a very, very nice finish. In fact, all over this bow, it's a very, very nice finish. The international fitting limb system is very, very quick. So if you're a hunter and you want to take this bow in a backpack, or if you're, I have people who travel around Australia and they carry a recurve with them. This bow is really quick to assemble, and I'm going to assemble and show you how quick it is to assemble. So it'll be a lot quicker than some of the others, and the finish is a lot better than a lot of the others. The grip is a wooden grip, and it's very, very nice and very, very comfortable. There's no sight holes on this bow. You can see how small the sight window is, so it's a bare bow shooting bow. So you've got the limb adjustment here, so you can move the limb position across, and you can change the poundage on this bow through loosening this screw at the back and then winding up at the front here. So it's a standard bow like a normal target recurve, but it's in a hunting format. So we're going to have a shot with this in a second. I'm going to show you what it comes with. Price point on this bow, Australian dollars around $970, and we're going to compare what this compares to in a second. So just bear that in mind, $970. So it's not cheap, but it is a carbon riser, and the equivalent bows tend not to be carbon, and they tend not to have this finish of the Win and Win. Now, Win and Win products, I think I'm like one of the largest Win and Win dealers in the world. I'm definitely the biggest in Asia. There's a couple of big guys in Europe, and Lancaster has one of two dealerships in America, so I think he's bigger than me. But I sell lots of Win and Win, and I have very few problems with them. So as far as limbs, as far as risers, they're almost bulletproof. For me, I don't have problems. I know a few other shops may have problems, but it's because they don't set up the bows correctly and people dry fire them, and hence they blow them up, because I've seen it at my club. But I don't have people dry firing my bows, and they generally set up when they leave the shop. So I tend not to have the same issues other people have. I don't have problems with limb twists on Win and Win. They are very, very good. The quality is very, very good. So I'm going to show you what it comes with. It comes in a cardboard box, which looks like this. So it's a cardboard box. I'm just going to hang this up. So it comes in a cardboard box, which looks nice. And inside it, there's a bow bag. And this one looks a bit dusty because it's been on the floor. But it comes with a pocket on the front, and inside it's got padding. It comes with a bow stringer. Now this bow stringer, it's from Win and Win, SF. I actually haven't had much success with this bow stringer. I have had them break in the past. I don't know if it's been fixed yet. It's not a bowstring I'd recommend. So normally the Win and Win stuff is excellent, but this bowstringer, yeah, not so good. they may fix it, and it may have already been fixed, but I'm a big fan. There's a little box of Allen keys for adjusting your limb poundage and your limb position if you need to, and I don't suggest in changing limb position because it's already preset at the factory, so by changing stuff, not a good idea. It comes with these fluffy things, which is for the limb, 2 of them because there's 2 limbs, and a bag for the riser. So you've got 2 limb bags, 1 riser bag, and inside that it fits into a bag. So as far as this competition, Hoyt has got one called the Buffalo, and that comes in a bag, and I'm going to say the bag's not as good as this bag. This bag is far, far better. It's all padded, nice, and it's got internal limb and handle things, so the bag's definitely better on the Win and Win, and hopefully that's not shitting on Hoyt. I think the bag's better. So bag's better, and I'm going to compare it to the other bows now. So to start off with, I'm going to look at a bow which is probably most similar. This is the Win and Win RCX 100. So this is a target bow. The riser itself is carbon, and it's quite similar in thickness to the Black Wolf. It's quite thin. It's a lot thinner than the Y-Wisp that I use, which is a carbon riser recurve. It's very nicely finished. Now the riser price on this bow is around $800. Now the total bow price of the Black Hawk is about $970. So, and it's got carbon limbs. So with this bow, you've got to buy your limbs. We've just put cheap $200 limbs on this bow, which is fine. So this bow is probably somewhere around the $1,000 mark. It shoots great, nothing wrong with it. But to me, it's very, very similar as far as, you know, international fitting limbs. You know, it's obviously got the side holes. It's a longer riser, obviously. But it's a very, very similar product as far as quality and style, made by the same company, obviously. Now, one of my favourite recurves ever made, and I own a few of them, is the Predator recurve. Price point on this is a standard Predator. Price point's probably going to be about $1,000 now on this bow. It's a custom made bow, and why I like this so much is the limbs. The limbs have got lots of reflex on the limb, and it's a really, really nice bow to shoot. Now this bow's got a fairly fat handle here. So with the carbon handle, the carbon handle, you'll see in difference, is a lot thinner than the Predator. Now Predator have got a metal riser, which is what I shoot. I've got one of these, but I've also got the metal riser. Which is called the Velocity. I'm going to show you the Velocity. Now this is the Velocity handle. It's a really nice hand grip, very comfortable, very targeting, and we're going to compare it to the Black Hawk. So they're both very much, very similar in width, very comfortable. The Velocity features a grip, which is it's a plastic grip, and it's got this black bit here, which is a bit rubberized. But it's a very small grip. It does have your sight holes along the side here. The bow's not as quick to assemble as the Win and Win Black Wolf, and that's because you've got to screw it in here. It's a lovely bow, and it is available with carbon limbs and foam inlay if you prefer it. It's a custom bow. Price on this bow for a standard kind of setup is probably around the $1,300 mark. With carbon limbs and foam, you're probably up around the $1,500. But it's a lovely bow. And I'm going to shoot the Win and Win and see, you know, which one I like the feel of more. But I've had Predator. I've had one of these, the Velocity, for I've been shooting maybe 5-6 years. And I've shot the Predator Hunter, like the wooden one there. It's probably mine. And my son shoots one. We've had those for maybe 10-15 years. So they're like really, really good bows. But this is where the Win and Win is aiming at. It's aiming at the traditional market, get the traditional hunter or a person who shoots compound who's looking for a more traditional recurve of high quality, and it's coming straight up against the Predator and other top-end recurves. So that's where we're going. Now this is the Fred Bear takedown. Now Fred Bear is a traditional company. It's been around forever, and this bow is largely unaltered. I can remember the first Fred Bears when I was a child, when I was 13, so you're talking many years ago. And this bow almost looks the same now as it did back then. The limb tips are really well finished. The overall product is well finished. It's a takedown. They come apart quite easily. It's not international fitting limbs. It just clips apart like this and then it pulls out. It does pull out somehow like that. It's a nice fitting. That fitting, I think, has been like that since the year dot. The limbs are they look beautiful. Now the price on this product, the Fred Bear, I'm going to guess a number. It's got a little locking system here to stop the limb coming out. Just there. I'm going to guess the price on this bow is probably around the $1,400 mark. And I before I did this video, I looked up what my competitors sell the bow for, and I think they were selling for about $1,600, but they tend to overinflate prices if I'm not selling an item. So I'm going to guess this bow should be around $1,400. I think in America this bow sells American dollars for about $900. So I think when you convert that to Australian dollars, it should come out around $1,400. So it just means my competitors are making a bit of a premium because I didn't have it for sale before. But it's a nice bow. It's a nice bow. The grip is actually quite narrow. It's quite narrow compared to the Predator. I think it's a lovely finish. They've always had this little compass there. It's a really nice bow, and I did a review on Bear before, and I said the customer service was a bit down. Since then, I had a new customer service guy come in. He was just outstanding. Like Christmas Day, he sent me an email. New Year's, he sent me an email. He pushed product out. It's basically same week which I'd order product would go out the door. He's since left, and I've got a new person. But I said in that video that Bear, it's all about customer service and getting products in and getting products out. And, that guy made a difference. He's no longer with the company, which I think is unfortunate. But Fred Bear do make wonderful products. They're really into quality. They haven't let quality slip. And yeah, to me, this is a bow I like to own. I've never owned one. And, I own lots of bows. And this to me always has been one of the nicest bows sort of made as far as recurves. I've never owned one, probably because I don't shoot enough traditional shooting. I do mainly competition target shooting. But it's a lovely bow. The grooves here are beautiful. But a lovely bow. So that's the main competitors. The other competitor is the Buffalo, which I don't have in stock. Price point on the Buffalo, I'm going to guess, is around $900, so about the same price as the Win and Win, but their quality is, not as smooth. So we're going to shoot the Win and Win now, and you can see it shot and see how it feels. So we'll have a shot. Okay, so I'm shooting McKinney carbon arrows. They're just a little thin arrow. These are actually my compound arrows. The first thing is the balance of the bow. You'll see it tilts backwards in the hand. So it could do with a little stabilizer on the front to sort of balance it up. The grip to me is really comfortable. It's like their Target Recurve, and just feels really nice. So we're going to draw it back and see what the draw cycle's like. With recurves, they often stack, and what that means is as I'm drawing it back, as you get to like 28 inches, it becomes extremely heavy, extremely fast. So I'm going to look how smooth this draw cycle is. Now this is a 45 pound, and I'm drawing that right back to 28, 29 inches, and it's smooth right the entire way. The poundage builds up gradually through the thing, and I don't really notice any increase in the poundage. It's obviously increasing, but it's not stacking, so it's smooth right the way through. So I draw that back, and it feels very comfortable. Now the other thing with a traditional recurve, when you shoot it, you're often likely to hit your arm, just because of the way the bow sits. This is, because of the grip, because it's built by target people, it's basically pushing my arm away from here, so I'm not getting any clearance here. So I'm going to guess I'm not going to have any problems with this bow hitting my arm. So we're going to shoot this bow and see what it feels like. Now it does come back extremely quiet to shoot, like there's no vibration. I'm going to say it's quiet in the other bows. Now with recurves, as you change the poundage, your brace height changes and the bow will make more or less noise depending on how much of the string hits the limb here. So all you got to do is twist up the string a little bit and the noise of the bow will change. So it's almost like tuning a guitar, tuning a recurve. Just the shorter the brace height, so the shorter the distance from here to here, the faster the bow will shoot, and the longer it is, the slower it will shoot because you've got more energy being transferred to the arrow. So to shoot this bow, now I've shot pretty much all those bows there and I've shot most recurves. I've shoot target recurves. This is nice, like a really, really nice bow to shoot. And across, so for its price point, $900,000, it's, to me, is as good as a Predator. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's as good as a Predator. I think the grip's as good as a Predator, especially the velocity. The bow's very, very light. I think the finish is good. So overall price point, the bow assembles quicker than the other bows, than all the other bows. So price point, I think this is pretty good. So one last shot. It's got no silencers on here and you can hear how loud the bow is. I think overall, Win have produced a fantastic recurve for hunting. They produce a great quality target bow, and I think they've done the same thing with the hunting. So if you're looking for a bow suitable for bear bow and hunting, Win Black Wolf, check it out, and it's available from 35 to 65 pounds. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thank you very much. Bye.